The school governing body of Pretoria High School for Girls found them not guilty, the 12 racism-accused learners, after it received complaints that a group of white learners in the school formed a whites-only WhatsApp group where they passed through several comments that were racist in the group. The South African Human Rights Commission is also investigating the matter. Meanwhile, the Gauteng Department of Education bemoans the way the school has handled the matter, including the disciplinary hearing process. For more on this, we're joined by education activist Hendrick Makaneta. Hendrick, good evening. Thank you so much for joining us. Really do appreciate it. Let's perhaps start here. Is the use of a school governing body as a disciplinary forum and platform an appropriate one for a school, particularly given that it is often formed by parents of the school, and parents often, as one would imagine, would like to keep their children in the school? What is the common practice around the world, not just in South Africa, about the disciplinary processes in schools?
Yes, definitely the disciplinary processes in schools are handled at school level by those who are in charge of the issue of discipline. For example, if learners have, if there's a misconduct against a learner or learners, obviously there must be someone who investigates, just like the normal course of events in the, in trials where there's an investigating officer. The IO will investigate. So even at school level, there must be a teacher who will be assigned to investigate the matter. But of course, when it comes to, chairing of the disciplinary hearing, there must be someone who will be impartial, who will chair the disciplinary hearing. So what has happened at Pretoria High School for Girls, there's nothing untoward. It is what should be followed.
Yeah, but the question is about the suitability of the school governing body made up of parents of children in the school, the suitability of that as a forum for disciplinary processes, as sensitive, particularly as sensitive as this. Should that remain the practice, or should it be externalized to the Department of Education, perhaps at a district or at a provincial level, where one can assume complete impartiality?
Well, if there were 2 schools in the country or only 5 schools, that would not be a problem for, the process to be handed over to the department. But of course, there are too many schools, and on a daily basis, there are too many issues of misconduct which are perpetrated by learners. And therefore, you can imagine the department does not have the capacity, to deploy people in all the schools in the country whenever there are issues of discipline. So hence the department, the school itself, must be able to handle the issue. Because as I said, there are just too many schools.
Yeah. Yeah. The South African Human Rights Commission are also investigating this particular matter. This could potentially become a lot bigger than what it is, given that the school itself has faced criticism in how it had handled the matter from political parties, the department itself, and now also including a teacher union. Is the involvement of the South African Human Rights Commission in this instance a necessary good?
Well, I think the South African Human Rights Commission, as a custodian of the rights of South Africans, has got a duty to step in at any time wherever there are, violations of rights of human beings. They do have their processes that they should follow. But that does not stop the schools from conducting their own investigations. So in this case, for example, unless the matter is referred to the South African Human Rights Commission by the complainants, that's a separate process. It's more like opening a case with the South African Police Service. It's also a separate process, but the processes of the school, they are handled differently.
Yeah. Should the South African Human Rights Commission find differently or come to a different conclusion about this matter, what does that say about the school governing body and its ability, impartiality, and capacity to effectively execute disciplinary hearing processes?
Well, it will not be for the first time that a different body finds a matter that was decided earlier differently. I mean, even the courts, you find that the High Court can take a decision to, to sentence someone, and of course, if they appeal to the Supreme Court of Appeal, the Supreme Court of Appeal may find it different. So, it is just the law. Sometimes judges err. And of course, even at school level, chairpersons of disciplinary committees can make mistakes. So, of course, the South African Schools Act also makes a provision for how this matter should be handled. I think that the next step would be to refer it to the department itself. But of course, the South African Human Rights Commission must continue to do its work, but also give space where space is necessary for those who are supposed to do their work so that they can be able to do their work.
Yeah. Hendrick, thank you so much for your time. Really do appreciate it. Hendrick Makaneta, an education activist.